there. We've seen him develop in this short time that he's been professional. But what I saw on Saturday night was a kid that is now really comfortable inside those ropes. Against Dempsey McKean, who was a credible opponent, timing, unbelievable. Space control, incredible. Speed of hand, and more importantly, the punch. You know when you hear that shot and it sounds different? It was like, I just look at it and I just go, this kid is outstanding, exceptional.
Right. It's easy to get carried away with him.
Yep.
And it's easy to give him all the suburbatism, tell everybody how great he is. Yep. The fact is, he's going out and he's blowing everybody out of the water.
To Maris whack on the previous fight.
He's blowing everybody out of the water, Simon. As I said before, he's going to take some holding.
Yep.
Because if you don't hold him back, then his bubble can get burst quite easily.
Really? What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, he can lose. He can get beat by a seasoned, old, wily veteran that would give him nightmares and make him look ordinary.
Right, which is kind of what Johnny Nelson was saying on Saturday night.
Yeah,
which is all well and good. He doesn't know what he doesn't know yet.
Yeah, that could happen quite easily.
Right.
However, it doesn't matter who they put with him right now.
Yeah.
He's just, the kid's so calm. He's got a very calm inner assurance about him, and he goes about his work, and because he believes in himself so much, that's what you're getting. If he says he's going to go out and knock somebody out, believe it right now, because that's exactly what he can and what he will do.
I mean, Frank Warren is a brilliant matchmaker, isn't he? And there's no surprise that when a heavyweight comes on the scene, they tend to be more often than not in Frank's stable. So.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the pathway that you see for him? Because ultimately he's going to have to fight seasoned pros to be able to get that experience that he doesn't yet have and get the knowledge that he doesn't know that he needs. So where do you see the direction of travel? He's 19 years of age. It looks to me like we're looking at a world champion, but we're also talking about a division that's got Daniel Dubois, who's not old. He's 26, 27 years of age. What do they do with Moses Itauma over the next 12 months? Because you've got to give him fights to keep him going forward.
Just develop him. They've got to develop him.
In my opinion, Spence, they've got to ship him off to America because you've got to take the pressure off of him. Right now in this country, the boy's a superstar. Right. He's heading for superstar status. If it gets too much attention, then it's going to go to his head because it. Because we've seen it before, and the next thing you know, that bubble gets burst and there's no more Moses. Right?
It's all about developing.
You think it's as fragile as that potentially?
I don't. I think he's actually teased off that dude. If I'm honest, like this whole because he's getting the development on these big shows out in Saudi Arabia on the undercards. Frank knows what he's doing. With
Sure,
what I'm saying is he's giving him a taste of it.
Yeah.
So like setting him up so that he's mentally set and mentally prepared when he goes into them big fights. But interestingly, speaking to him when we were around that poolside, Frank was saying, look. We know how good he is. Spencer, I go and put him in with Anthony Joshua. People going like Gareth A. Davis. Oh, he beats Anthony Joshua now. I said it's not about that, mate. It's about when he beats him. He's there. Where you go, you got to understand.
So when you say he goes to America, I mean, to take him beneath the radar. That's what you're suggesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Even though the fighter himself has tasted being on the undercard to the biggest fight in boxing. And taking him out and putting him in a smaller event against...
No. He needs the actual gym experience.
Right.
Fighting with seasoned, hardened, proper pros who are going to give him 6, 7, 8 rounds in the gym.
He's doing that now.
No.
But in the camp that he's actually in.
But Frank's talked about headlining him. And I have to say, and we all concur with this, right? I think Frank very rarely gets it wrong and how he manages his fighters through to get them to the ultimate conclusion.
Yeah.
He's now talking about headlining the kids.
Yeah. I'm not disputing that he shouldn't be headlining. So
who would go to America and work with him?
Yeah, I would have him if it was just me on a personal level. Yeah. I'd have him in America where he could go to different gyms, with different champions, past and present, and really get this boy schooled because he makes basic fundamental mistakes to the trained eye. And if I don't want to expose him, Simon. I don't want to say he does this wrong and he does that wrong because it's not really my place. I'm not his coach.
You've got a view, though, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a view, but I don't want to. In case he's listening, he is a bit sensitive. Do you see what I mean?
He's a nice kid. He's quite robust, isn't he?
However, I do feel he would benefit highly from going to America and sparring with some real world class champions and former champions.
World class champions are here.
Those are the words of Duke Mckenzie that's urging Itauma to be held back and shipped off to America. And let me counterpunch. That's a theory. Okay, that's a theory. And I think that's a theory based on a worry or concern of Duke Mckenzie because of something he sees as far as what might happen. Okay. Now, I want people to understand that's something that might happen, not saying that it will, because Moses, for the most part, you know, he's a pretty, like I said, he's a pretty laid back guy. He's quiet, he's calm, he's tranquil. And he doesn't look like a person that'll do that, but then you don't know if that happens until it does. Right. So I understand the worry or concern factor with Duke Mckenzie. However, I can tell you this, and I was just watching Showbiz, the adults breakdown of Moses Itauma and the things that he does so well, and looking at possible at a future heavyweight star in the division, the future of the heavyweight division. And I heard that short that he put out. Shout out to him. But in that clip, I seen the same things that Anthony Joshua did against Otto Weiland, against Francis Ngannou, and against Daniel Dubois. Moses Itauma also did. Okay. He also did the same thing. Okay. And I believe that Ben Davison is allowing Moses to do the same thing, that same mistake, especially with big punchers that have a little speed. Moses more so. So, you know, that poem, you know, and he throws and his head is exposed. He has that one side exposed, like he can't get countered, throwing a counter or throwing an attack and get countered. You know, listen, I've seen the same things. I'm trying to tell you that AJ did. The same things that AJ did is the same things that I seen Moses do in the Dempsey McCain fight. Okay. And see, understand this. Those need to be corrected. That's what Duke Mckenzie was talking about. He just didn't want to say it, but I will. Okay. Because he wants to be in a situation where he knows those things. I would put him in there with Derek. Take him over across seas to Derek James. Do a switcheroo. Take him over there to keep his hands up. Yeah, his hand speeds are real fast because he's not a huge heavyweight, but he does have power in them fists. And I think what happens is, since a lot of guys that are smaller and faster, they feel that they're able to get away with certain fundamentals that bigger guys aren't. Okay, but understand, if he gets in there with the wrong person, they could, you know, give him some problems. And then people are like, oh my God, that's what Duke Mckenzie's talking about. He doesn't want him to go in there that he's so sure of himself that he ends up getting beat by someone that just seen with the naked eye, just like he saw, just like I saw, that, hey, this man has flaws. This man has some kinks in his armor. This man needs to tighten up on his defense. He needs to do these things to be better, to get better. You know what I mean? Because that's the whole thing. That's the whole intention on speaking of those flaws, is for him to correct those flaws, not to just talk shit about Moses Itauma. Why would you want to talk anything negative about someone like Moses? He's done nothing to nobody. He's just showed us some great entertaining knockout moments already at age 19. So there's no reason for us to be pissed off or mad at him or hate on him. You know what I mean? But still, you do need to look out for someone like that. Like, look, I like what you're doing, kid, but you need to correct this. And if going to the U.S. and learning that against someone in the gym versus someone, you know, in a fight would help him. But you guys tell me what you think of Duke Mckenzie warning Moses Itauma. He needs to be held back. He's still showing flaws and things that he needs to work on. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.